Hey everyone, Ryan here. So if you're a first time user on my station, this is the first time actually doing a book and movie review. I've done movie reviews before, but I would like to do this review on this book before I do anything with the movie itself, since this came out in May 2nd of last month. I know I'm a little behind, but what really inspired me was this movie and the fact I wanted to read this book too. So I should have read this book before I saw the movie, but I didn't exactly do that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about Robinee Lee's book here, and what I actually feel about it. I just feel books are more gives you more description of what you actually see in the book, compared to what you actually see in the movie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into 3 different chapters of my own on this video segment. I'll be doing the book first and then the movie. And then I will do a comparison between the book and the movie. Because as you know, when you read a book, you're going to get more description of what is actually going inside this book. It's like over 300 pages long, and you know you won't be able to get all that into a movie. So what you got to do when you get into a movie, you got to actually nick and pick and see which parts you actually want inside the movie itself, because you're not going to be able to get every single thing inside it. So with all that being said, let me go ahead and let you know, once again, Robinee Lee wrote this book, and she did a really good job with it. It really follows Solen's marching life, and what happens as she goes to this meet and greet in Las Vegas, and actually discovers what the whole concept of this as well too. They actually mention it in the book this as well too, along with the movie. I don't want to do my comparison quite yet, but she goes to Las Vegas with her daughter, with her friends, and comes across this August Moon boy band. This as well too. So the league follow from this is Hayes Campbell. So what happens almost right away in this book, they meet at the meet and greet, and yes, you see Hayes. His eyes are wide open, saying, "Wow, this lady is so amazing. I want to get the chance to actually meet her." So that's what exactly happens. What that happens in this book, it's split up into different chapters. Usually in books, you have like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and all that. But believe it or not, in the book, the way it's actually done, you get each location. So since the book actually started in Las Vegas, you're going to get the first chapter called Las Vegas. So following from that, you'll get Los Angeles, Paris. Get the idea where I'm getting from. Each city will actually go into each chapter and actually bring you to each place. Each and every single place, there seems to be a little drama there. There's this as well too. So let's just follow this for a second. So right away with the lead characters in the book, in the movie, we got Solene Marchand as the main character. Hayes Campbell this as well too, and we also have Isabel, which is the daughter, Solene's daughter, and the Daniel is her ex-wife. This is ex-husband. Sorry, ex-husband. And we also have Ava this as well too, as the fiance, and then later on in the book, of course, they actually get married in the book itself. So let's go ahead even more deeper as we develop it and find out they get into the relationship after what happens in that first chapter with Las Vegas. I'm not going to cover every single chapter, of course. I just want to squeeze everything in to make sure that everything's exactly what they said in the book. And with each and every chapter, when they list off each and every city, which I find it really interesting how Robinee Lee actually does that. That way you get the full look of what actually happens, because as you realize, when we have a boy band of some sort, they travel to each and every country, and we know that they do like a big tour around the world, which is really cool. So that's exactly what she does in the book. And we get to follow this love relationship, this as well too, with Hayes and Solen's love romance, and we find out how bumpy it can actually be this as well too. And this whole romance is based on age gap this as well too. So Lynn's character is a mom this as well too. So she in the book, we start off as her being 39 years old, and we have Hayes at 20 years old this as well too. So it's a 19-year gap in between. So that's the whole big concept about this book is about how well age gap can actually be. And if once it actually something like this actually got out in the public and actually people would actually see this, what would other people actually think? And that's exactly what we got towards the end of the last 100 pages of this book. The description of what actually goes on after the public actually finds out that a mom is dating a much younger person in the 20s. Hayes Campbell, who is actually is actually a role model to a little girl, stuff like that, how they actually feel, especially with other mothers as well too, how they would actually feel with the whole concept of actually these two actually dating. So what's happened? I just feel Robinee Lee gave a really good description of with everything with that towards the last 100 pages. So the whole rest of the book is their love relationship, which I find really nice covered by the way Robin actually did it. By each and every location, just as well too. But you got to remember too, in the book too, you're gonna get description more behind the boy band itself. Yes, there will be drama. There were certain issues in here just as well too with Hayes and a couple of his other band members as well too. A thing with I think one of the guys' sister, stuff like that. There was a big conflict with that just as well too, and the whole thing is interesting. I really was drawn to this book. Each and every page really drew me. Usually in the past, I don't usually read romantic books, but I usually read thriller books, believe it or not, because it really gets my attention really much. But I find reading this was something different, yes, but it really brought to my attention how much I actually was drawn to each and every page, how well Robinee Lee actually wrote in this book. She's a great author, and I can't wait to see if she actually does something more in the future. I would love to see if she writes anything more. And you got to remember too, she's an actor and producer this as well too. She is amazing at what she did writing this book called The Idea of You. Okay, so moving on with my movie review on the book by Robinee Lee, The Idea of You. Director Michael Showalter actually came in to direct this movie, and the executive producer behind this as well too is Anne Hathaway and Gabrielle as well too. Oh my gosh, and Anne Hathaway's in this. I've always followed her career from the very beginning of The Princess Diaries from now. And she's been such an amazing actress. I'm really excited she is still where she is today because I really like her performance. And speaking of performances as well too, we got Nicholas Galazine in this movie. Thank you, Anne, for actually helping me out with that pronunciation. Because I watched the Drew Barrymore show and she had this little song to remember his last name. So that actually helped me to this as well too. So thank you, Anne, for that. We also had Ella Rubin. I want to point out this as well too because this is a great cast, I gotta say. Ella, how much more can I say more about this? She looks identical to Anne Hathaway. They cast her really good, and I really feel this is a really great mother and daughter with this. Okay, so going into this review, this is well too. Ella, which plays Isabel in the movie, is actually at age 16, and I've already mentioned, but pretty much Soline's character is actually 39, or actually, wait, I should say 40 in the movie, as it is. It was 39 in the book, by the way. And we got Hayes Campbell, who's at 24 in the movie just as well, too. So the boy band August Mood is a famous group that they go off to Coachella in the movie. And we get to find out this big little romance before the meet and greet, how they got to meet. Soline had to go to the bathroom and actually encounter him. And then they go to the meet and greet, and actually that's where things get more. But once things start getting more in detail with this love relationship, everything that happens when we go back to Soline's hometown, and Hayes actually shows up there just as well too. And what happens from there, and I'm not giving you what the movie actually shows, but if you saw the trailer, you kind of get the idea of what I'm describing to you. But Soline actually brings him to a different warehouse. But things start heating up from there. You can actually tell where the relationship is actually going from there. But I actually felt the direction of this was really good. The way it was set off to show that it showed these two. Once again, it's based on a book, but I haven't gotten that part yet with the comparison. They did a good job with it. There's no way you can not going to give a 300-page book into a movie. So they did a good job shortening into a good length of a movie. The writer behind it did a really good job actually doing that. And I felt every single detail that was actually in the movie. It grabbed my attention. The motivation was actually there. It had my attention the whole entire way. Nicholas and Anne had a great chemistry in this movie that actually gave me the strong attention of actually seeing it, what I'm seeing in front of the screen here. This whole time since I didn't get the cover of the Idea of You from the movie on here. This is the original cover that was actually on here. So when I was reading this book, I was actually thinking of Anne Hathaway the whole time, which I don't mind. But no, I'm kidding. A little blush. But I really thought Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine did a really cool job showing us how much of a comparison actually is. In real life, actually, Nicholas Galitzine is actually 29, so and Anne Hathaway is 41. So there is a little bit still of a different age gap there, but once again, it's all about the book of the idea of you, how they actually showed us the world of what happens out there if mom got involved with somebody in the boy band called something like this, like August Moon. And towards the end of this movie, I would find it quite interesting the way they actually did it. How a good half hour, yeah, probably the last half hour of the movie, how everything went in detail, how everything got in public with the paparazzi giving photos and seeing stuff on the internet, and actually how it actually got laid out, and how haywire I actually got this as well too. And towards the end, I know with me describing this, since I'm doing the book and this combined, yes, I will be giving the ending away. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm sorry to say this is not a spoiler free. But the way this the movie ended, I gotta say, I don't know. I was kind of a little disappointed with it. But with that being said, I'm gonna move on to my comparison, because there's talks I do want to talk about that. But overall, I did think this movie was well done. I actually would give this movie around an A section, B plus section. I really liked it. But the only thing you got to remember too, this is an adult movie. So if your little ones want to watch this, talk to your parents first, because there is a language in the movie and a sexual content this as well too. Just like along with the book this as well too. It goes real in description with a lot of stuff, and I just recommend it to talk to someone younger under the age. Just talk to your family, because this movie is actually rated R. So I'm really excited because I wanted to talk about the comparison. So let's go to talk about my comparison between both the book and the movie now. I am now at the favorite section where I was trying to do my really best to stick to a book review by itself and a movie review this as well too. But now I want to do the comparison between both of these the book and the movie. So first off, I'm going to say the place they were actually started with the first Hayes and so Lynn actually met for the first time. The book itself was actually in Las Vegas. And the movie was Coachella this as well too. So these are two different locations. I know Coachella was actually mentioned in the book this as well too, but it was not the meeting place where they actually met. It's 4 hours a difference in that desert area, of course, from Las Vegas to Coachella. But that's one of the things I wanted to point out this as well with the comparison. And this as well too, at the very beginning of this movie too, the way they actually met, we got to see, so Lane, I wanted to go to, needed to go to the bathroom. And the way they actually met was through Campbell's trailer. And so that was the first encounter they actually met in the movie. In the book, they went straight to the meet and greet. And from there, that's where the relationship really went into high gear, of course. And the book, once again, will always give a lot of more detail than anything more than the movie. But the movie will really stick really good to it, which I thought the movie did a really good job of. If you want to learn more about the relationship between Hayes and so Lynn's character just as well too, read the book. And once again, I told you in that book review that each section in this book is not separate out into chapters as cities, and so that each time Hayes went on tour with his boy group, that's how they actually Robin actually wrote it out in the book, which I thought was well done this as well too. And she gives a strong relationship between the book this as well too, of how their relationship really develops and how much they actually love each other, which I find really cool. Now I have to say this as well too, just like any boy group, that there will be trouble somewhere along the line this as well between all the guys in the boy group. That actually happens in here just as well too. They don't mention anything at all in the movie, but once again they stuck to the main idea in the movie, which I do have to give credit. But there were problems in the boy group, so once again, if you do want to know more stuff, read the book once again. We read a book once again. I can keep on saying that because there's a lot of description in the book. I do have to say the movie was well done the way it was actually done. But there's just certain things I just wanted to point out in this comparison section this as well too. Also, towards the end, let's talk about this before I talk about the very end, of course, because the very end is very different just as well with the book and movie. But Daniel and Ava just as well too. Book, Daniel, which so Lynn's ex-husband, gets remarried in the book. It actually goes into the marriage a little bit in this book just as well too. But in the movie itself, You gotta remember, Ava wanted to break away from Daniel, and maybe there's other reasons they actually did that in the movie because of, I don't know, certain issues. Maybe after Ava saw what's going on with Isabel's mother, maybe have this sight of actually being on her side. A lot of people seem to be on her side towards the end of this movie when this got out in public about her dating Hayes Campbell. There were lovers and haters. You got to say that there were lovers and haters about the whole concept, but a lot of them were haters. That there's little girls actually hating her for actually being involved with someone that was actually 20 years old. You got to remember in the book, but in the movie was Hayes Campbell was actually 24. So in the book itself, you got to remember Lynn's character was actually 39 in the book. And then she turns into 40. We got to read a couple pages about that, how she went into her birthday. And same thing with Hayes Campbell does as well, too. Because he was 20 and then got to turn 21 in this. None of the birthdays actually went into process in that. I don't think that was really big in importance of the movie. But once again, when you do the movie based on a book, you want to make sure every single detail is actually good and what really needs to be necessary in the movie itself as well, too. So going on to this very ending of this movie now. The book and the movie are totally different. I could understand from where the book is actually going towards the end because what happens, it really gets to Lynn's character that she wants to be with Hayes Campbell so bad, but it hurts so much because she has a daughter. It's kind of feel like it's ruining her family. And the same concept in the movie does as well too, but in the book, what happens is she fades Hayes Campbell out. And she doesn't want that drama because it just feels like it's feeding on her in the book. And what happens in the book, it just fades away. They break apart. It tells in the book that it goes out after a couple of weeks. He actually comes back, then leaves again. And then from there, they really drifts away. And that's how the book ends. There's no love romance. But I believe this as well too. It shows that someone actually had really strong feelings towards Hayes Campbell. So in the movie itself, they did it 5 years later sort of thing. I know, a little silly, but once again, if you're going to do a movie based on a book, I know sometimes you would like to give a nice, better closure, more of a way to make actually feel good coming out of a movie, if making you feel good. So that's the way I kind of have to see this. In the movie, 5 years later, see Hayes Campbell still doing what he does, but he's still doing stuff solo now. And actually, that starts to describe a little bit in the book too that he was actually thinking about wanting to do solo act as well too. It looks like there was the one he wanted to get away from the boy band this as well too in the book. But that's exactly what happened in the movie. And if you remember towards the end of the movie, this as well too. Lynn's on her couch just watching him being so proud, still having strong feeling for him still. But the last scene is what actually drags you to make you think, what are they trying to do from this movie? Because once again, you see her, Lynn's character in the gallery doing what she does for her job, and he walks in. They both look at each other and look so happy and proud, which they should be because they had a very strong love connection. With all the romance you get in this book and all in detail what you get, I would understand that this is well too in the movie, even though you didn't show exactly everything with that what's in the book. This is well too. So once again, I understand why they did what they did, but I really don't. Let's hope they don't open this up for a sequel because there's no sequel to this book. I would hate for them to do a movie based on a movie of another sequel. So hopefully that's not the case. But overall, I got to say, the book is well done, well written by Robinee Lee. And the movie itself is well done this as well too. The beautiful Anne Hathaway pulled it off once again. Nicholas Gallatin did awesome. And Ella just as well pulled it off, almost like an identical youngster of Anne Hathaway, I gotta say. Everyone in the cast was really good. And the director himself did a wonderful job pulling the direction of this book called The Idea to You. Okay, so if you guys saw the movie, which came out May 2nd, I know I'm a little bit delayed with this. I wanted to read the book before actually doing this review, and it took a while, of course. 372 pages. I read this book within 3 weeks before that. It does grab your attention. And this book, I do strongly recommend reading this. If you guys have not seen the movie, of course, I just gave away the end, and I do apologize for that. But I just wanted to give everything in good in detail with both the comparison of both movie and the book itself. But the book is well done. I really do have to say, the movie is really good this as well too. The way it's just little details here and there they actually did that kind of changed the book itself. But most of the time you're going to get that in most of the situations when a movie does something based on a book. You're always going to get that. I read the Harry Potter books and not every single thing was in them. Those books were so big you had to squeeze them in and try to make a good detail with them. The same with 50 Shades of Grey. Okay, hold on. I'm not going there. But anyways, I would strongly recommend the book and the movie. I hope I did. If you did, leave your comments down below how you feel about the movie itself. If you did read the book, let me know too. Let me know how you like the book. And I would like to hear from you guys out there, everyone who's watching. And I would actually to tell the truth, I would give this book a thumbs up. I would give the movie a thumbs up. And you probably don't know where I'm going from here. I would also say, if you like this video, make sure to give me those thumbs up this as well too. My name is Ryan. Thank you for watching my video. Once again, this was an interesting video because I've never done a book in combination with a movie. And I've loved enjoying doing this. And I hope you really enjoyed this segment. Other than all, my name is Ryan. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.